Great good morning, everyone. It is a beautiful Thursday, June 18, year of our Lord 2026. My Cordaro Jeweler's watch tells me it's 9/11 and change. This is the Bob Cordaro Show. I am he. Broadcasting today from the United States of America. I can prove it because we are marching astride the world as its undisputed leader. It's also the place for the brave. Like veterans we've lost this year, but celebrate today. The people who have made us and kept us free. Well, John Basiliga takes care of that. And his great Basiliga Hospitality Group make sure we pay that tribute. Like Rocco Cipriano, Dunmore and Scranton. Dr. Thomas Artabane, a West Sider. Henry Swank, Danville. The United States of America, founded with a certain knowledge and understanding by our amazing, irreplaceable, and profoundly wise founding fathers who knew that government should not be, and then set about making sure that they cannot and never would be our parent, our guide, our direction, our salvation. Because they knew that government power, because of human nature, knowing that power will always be abused, should only be a necessary evil designed to protect and organize society. The United States of America, the country where, for the first time in human history, freedom was declared by law to be an unalienable right granted to each individual by God. It could not be parceled out to groups. It couldn't be controlled by government or government officials because our great American Constitution ensures and codifies freedom of speech, freedom of religion, freedom of association, economic freedom, and freedom of the press, no matter how they use and abuse it. Now, because they were armed with these freedoms, and only because of that fact, a ragtag bunch of immigrants, many of them rejects from around the world, they and their progeny created the richest, most powerful, most culturally diverse and accepting nation ever to grace our planet Earth. America, the only place specifically invented and designed so that every American can live their life in the manner they choose, unlimited by their background, upbringing, race, color, or creed, unhindered by the government or those who would use government to control others for their own comfort, benefit, or power. Well, this Bob Cordaro Show, it'll always be convincingly conservative, lovingly logical, proudly and passionately patriotic, and reliably right. With that essential preamble dispensed with, we can gavel to order today's meeting of the Club for Common Sense, promising you that our total, immersive, immovable commitment to common sense will provide a sanctuary of sanity to all of you who hearken here for the balance of this singular, extraordinary morning. Well, the deal is made, and the Iranian deal, and it's, I don't know if it's a kiss your sister moment. It's a little better than that. But it's what is possible. Now, the funny part of it was that the same people who were carrying on about prices and gas prices are the ones who are criticizing the agreement. You know, you can't win with these a-holes. These are disgusting people. The leadership, Democrats, senators, and congresspersons, spokespeople. So I've got a text of it. I don't know if it's worth going through, meaning on the air. Here's the short version. Iran presented by our best intelligence and common sense. A clear and present danger, if not to the United States of America, to our allies in the region, Israel, the Saudis, all these countries that we've gotten together, by the way, that Trump has gotten together. If they obtained, and they were very close to doing so, a nuclear weapon, their stated goal wasn't to use that for mere blackmail, which would have been bad enough for the world economy. Because, all right, let's say Iran has a nuclear weapon. Let's say there's rationality in their leadership, which there isn't, by the way. So they've got a nuclear weapon, and they say, you know, we're going to use this if you don't do this, 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 and this. Well, everybody, particularly in the Middle East, my God, the weak, lily-livered Europeans, they'd do anything. So now you got Iran in control of the world economy at the very least. But let me go back. They said we intend to use it to bring about our version of the apocalypse, which is the return of their 12th Imam. That means it would be used against Israel immediately, the hated little devil. Now, I want you to imagine, and by the way, it was going to be used against the Arab countries. I don't know why people think because they're fellow Islamists in terms of leadership that they don't have deep, abiding hatred for the Arab countries. In any event, they would have used it. I want you to imagine detonations of one or two nuclear weapons in the Middle East. You would think that the last 3 months of gas prices and relative headaches, you would think that that was a picnic. You'd be begging to go back to that. So, the right decision was clearly made. What have we accomplished? Well, first of all, let's say, what have we lost? We lost 13 brave souls. It was due to a mistake or mistakes. I believe, and I'm trying to recall this, on a refueling mission. So the cost was substantial. Now, billions of dollars in weaponry. Okay. But the Iranians will not be a military threat for the foreseeable future. That's a lot. That's a real lot. So I just don't see, you want to criticize, I want to ask you what more you wanted, meaning the left-wing goofballs. Normal people could have a conversation and we could say, well, yeah, that's probably all. You'd get where I got. That's probably all we could get. Potential regime change down the road, but that's not to be counted on. So it is a good thing. It's substantial progress towards peace. But it's not perfect. And I'll live with that. And by the way, the world will live better with that. So will the United States of America. We'll take a break. We'll be back. It's the Bob Cordaro Show. Richie Valens. Murph tells us this date, 1958. Valens recorded his self-penned Come On, Let's Go for Delphi Records, Los Angeles, California. Somebody texts in, take the L, Bob. This administration completely fumbled this entire situation with their incompetence. You don't even know what you're talking. Seriously, this is one of the stupids. I'm done calling them trolls. They're just stupid. That's what I got to tell you, I really don't know what pleasure they get out of that, being stupid. I'm curious what it is at times. But it's a level of ignorance, intentional ignorance and stupidity. And by the way, they never say compared to what. Let me tell you where we would be with Kamala Harris as president. Iran would already have a nuclear weapon. Please don't forget the devastation we did with that incredible attack last year. They would still have all of their ballistic missiles. They would still have the capacity to reach Paris with nuclear weapons. Again, if you don't want to think, if it's easier for you to be stupid, there's nothing I could do for you. Now, somebody texts in, more normal person. Bob, Trump gave away the store. They're going to control the straits. That's not accurate. That is not accurate. The neighboring countries are all that, as under the text of this agreement, that includes all of the Arab states, our allies, are going to determine passageway in that. Now, if you want to give the Iranians a fig leaf, this is the fig leaf, because international law says that those straits are international waterways. So that is not correct. Iran will not control the straits. They're not going to collect from the ships. Period. Another listener says they supposedly have no army, no navy, no economy, but somehow they were able to make demands. They should have been bombed 24/7 until they were on their knees begging us to stop. Instead, it looks like they won. Here's the reality. They don't care what happens to their country. They don't care if they're living in tents, meaning the sick, apocalyptic leadership, the Islamists. They don't care the pain if there's no water. They don't care about any of that. But we do. So Trump's only option, as we did the devastation we did to their military, his only option then was to take out their infrastructure. That would mean mass starvation, mass need, absolute chaos in a country of 93 million people. It was untenable. Who would have to fix, the old Pottery Barn thing? Who would have to fix it if we broke it, if we kept bombing, if we went further? Bridges, infrastructure, power plants. Who'd have to fix it? We would. The only thing we could do if the Iranian people themselves did not rise up was what we did. Devastate their military, cripple them for the foreseeable future from doing any substantial damage to any of our partners in the Middle East. That's what was done. That's what was accomplished. They do not have a nuclear weapon. They will have a near impossible time getting one. They don't right now have the resources to supply the Houthis in Yemen, Hezbollah in Lebanon, and Hamas in the Palestinian region. So there you go. It's what we could get. And by the way, what we got is huge. So significant accomplishments. It wasn't a straight flush. What's that? What's that called? What's that called when you have three of one kind and two of the other? You guys will let me know. That's what we had. That's it. That's all we had. Somebody said, Bobby, keep mentioning Iran's potential to reach European capital cities. Please remember that capability means all of European U.S. military bases were in harm's way as well, says Steve from Dunmore. Very good point. Very good point. So, look, the Israelis had a philosophy. It was called mowing the lawn. And they said basically every so often, whether it's the terrorist regimes or Iran, you've got to pound them a little bit so that they have to regroup and they're not focusing on the damage they're going to do to you. This was completely mowing the lawn. This was pulling the sod up. It'll take them a long time to regroup. It will take them a long time to have the capacity to do substantial damage. Because remember what else we did. We hit their factories which produce drones. They've got to rebuild those. We hit the factories that produced ballistic missiles. They've got to rebuild those. All in all, for a 3-month incursion, it was worth the full house. Thank you so much. He didn't get the straight flush that he wanted. He got a full house. And in life, you got to accept that. All right, we'll take a break. And by the way, I'm here for the next 2 hours, 2.5 hours to talk about it. And you could check in with me and we'll have the discussion. I find it fascinating. We're not on tomorrow. So today, let's get it in today. 570-883-0098. We'll come back with our Veterans Tribute after this. Our Veterans Tribute today, as with every day, brought to you by our man John Basiliga, his great Basiliga Hospitality Group. It's Thursday, and for me, it's the weekend. We're not on tomorrow. And I'm thinking about, I'll be at multiple of these stops over the weekend. The Old Brook Inn, 307 Springbrook Township. The Queen City Tavern, downtown Oliphant. The Far Street Tavern on Far Street in the Great Trips Park section of West Scranton. 3 of the best bar restaurants you will ever go to. Food, fun, people, the whole package. I know where else I'll be this weekend. At Terra 519. Great bar, great food, all kinds of moderate-priced options at one of the most beautiful restaurants and greatest dining experiences you'll ever have. Ditto with the Stegmeyer Mansion, an old-school look at the same amazing dining experience. And guess what? Sergei's will be open tonight without a cover charge. Sergei's, the nightclub, right under a Terra 519. Rocco Cipriano. I knew Rocco. He was 82 when we lost him June 15th. Born in Scranton, lifelong resident of this area, Rocco was deeply rooted in his family, faith, and community. Proud graduate of West Scranton High School. He went on to serve his country honorably as a member of the United States Navy. Following his military service, Rocco built a dedicated career as a draftsman with the Train Company in Dunmore. Man of strong faith, Rocco was a devoted member of the great St. Rocco's Church and Holy Name Society in the Bunker Hill section of Dunmore and Scranton. He also gave back to his community. He volunteered at the Gino Murley Center, where he would eventually live. Amazing. Above all, Rocco cherished his family. He'll be remembered for his kindness, loyalty, and deep connections he formed throughout his life. He wants to thank his staff, the staff at the Gino Murley Veterans Center, for the care they provided during his time there. Rocco survived by a son and daughter-in-law, 2 daughters and their husbands, 7 grandchildren, nieces, nephews, cousins, other family. This hour's tributee, Rocco Cipriano, our great veteran, brought to you by John Basiliga and the Basiliga Hospitality Group. AccuWeather forecast today. Variable clouds, windy, very warm and humid, with a thunderstorm around into the early afternoon, high of 86. By the way, if you don't remember, all of this brought to you by the company that's synonymous with the weather, Montage Mountain, because it's warm. That means we hang at the water park. Tonight, partly cloudy and breezy, down to 58. Tomorrow, another good day for the water park. Intervals of clouds and sun with a passing shower in the afternoon, high 80, low 55. Saturday, mostly sunny, breezy, pleasant, high 78, low 53. Sunday, sun yielding to clouds, but it'll be nice for Father's Day activities, including, might I add, up at Montage Mountain at the water park. High 80, low 60. Monday, rain, high 72, low 54. That's your weather, brought to you by the great gang at Montage Mountain Resort. Murph tells us Warner Brother Records, this date, 1963, released Peter, Paul, and Mary's version of the Bob Dylan hit, Blowin' in the Wind. Bob Cordaro back with you on the program. Tom from Dallas says, somehow Trump lost this war because the Iranians will be getting their frozen assets unfrozen. If Harris was in charge, they would have already had access to those funds because they would have never been frozen. They would have went to the negotiating table against Harris saying they had enough nuclear dust for 11 bombs, and she would have asked how much money they needed. Trump did $1 trillion worth of damage to their country, killed the top 30 or 40 of their leadership from their president down, and now has them signing pledges and performance-based deals while Iran's at its weakest they've been in years. And he supposedly lost. And again, if Iran doesn't go along with the program, we go back to bombing, unlike what the Democrats were willing to do. Exactly. Exactly, Tom. And you know, it is so, it can be so frustrating to deal with people who insist on being stupid, who insist on basing their opinions on lies that they know are lies. It's a frightening thing. But the entire Democrat Party of 2026 is based on lies. And the thing is, there are things to criticize about this agreement. There are many things to criticize about Donald Trump. By the way, most of them stylistically, not policy-wise. But that's not good enough for them. As Gutfeld says, they've got to pretend it's either our horrible, horrible policies and politicians or the end of the world. See, that's what they've been reduced to. Oh, well, if you vote for them, it's the end of the world. The world will end. By the way, let's ask these idiots. You said there would never be another election again if Donald Trump won. Well, amazingly, somehow we've already had one since he won. And now you're preparing for the midterms elections. You got candidates all over the place. You got ridiculous candidates all over the place. Well, why would you be doing that if Trump was going to cancel the elections? It's like, you people they are insane. Please do not ascribe any rationality, any common sense, any sense of reality to them. They don't have it. They don't possess it. They don't want to. So they're reduced, and I want you to observe this. They're reduced. Well, you either get Graham Plattner, because all of a sudden they don't care about Nazis anymore. I mean, I can't. It's insane. You either get Graham Plattner or the world ends. That's what they're telling you. And if you vote for them, you're stupid because they're treating you like that. They're saying, you're stupid, we're going to lie to you, and you're going to fall for it. What does that make you? 950 on the Bloomberg, or on the Picardo Jewelers watch. Bloomberg Money Minute. Chicago. Murph tells us this date, 1973, they released their hit, Feeling Stronger Every Day. It was a contender for the closing song today, but happy we got it in either way. And as always, thanks to our man Murph. George checks in, a longtime poker player. He says, Bob, four of a kind beats a full house. You're correct. Trump, in my opinion, got the straight flush. Maybe not the royal flush, which beats a straight flush. I'm only giving him a full house. I'm giving him a full house because, and by the way, it could become better if we get regime change as a result. If we get rid of the mullahs, we get rid of the sick Islamists, and it's still a possibility. Well, on Saturday, June 27th, 1 o'clock, right off Public Square, Wilkes-Barre, there's going to be a program in the Kings Alley Center at Public Square and North Market Street, 1 o'clock. Because the Anthracite Heritage Foundation, King's College, and the Carnegie Hero Fund Commission will be honoring 40 anthracite miners who've been recognized with Carnegie Hero medals over the years. And we've talked to them before, but I said, please keep calling to remind people about this, and we'll talk again about it next week. But Mike Korb is with us. Mike, how are you?
I'm real fine, Bob. Thank you for having me back on.
This is a great thing. Tell us a little bit about what the Carnegie Heroes program is about, and how did they decide to honor local miners?
Sure. Carnegie Fund was started back in 1904, and there was a mine explosion in western Pennsylvania that Mr. Carnegie saw about and decided that he should make some sort of a recognition of some people that died there. There were two men that died in trying to rescue the other men that were there, and people have nominated the local mine owners and public servants have nominated people over the years for heroic acts that they've done, and that's how the awards are considered by the Hero Fund Commission, and then they are awarded them. There have been 40 anthracite miners have been awarded, and this is what we're going to be honoring, those 40 miners.
And you're erecting a stone, a monument to these local anthracite miners. I think that is such a great thing. It's amazing. So this is Saturday, June 27th, 1 o'clock, right off of Public Square in Wilkes-Barre. I want to, just thank you to the Anthracite Heritage Foundation and Kings for doing this.
Yeah, the park is right between the old Pomeroy's building and the Chick-fil-A. So actually on the Kings campus there, it's just in a little park that probably most people don't even notice.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing it. Mike, thank you. Make sure you call in next week. You know how to get me. You will arrange it, and we'll talk about this again. But it's Saturday, June 27th, 1 o'clock, right off of Public Square, Wilkes-Barre, and it's important. We appreciate you doing this.
Appreciate it.
All right. Hey, my Bacardi Jewelers watch says 10:01. You know what that means? That means it's time for the news with Brian Hughes. Let's do it. We'll be back. Great good morning, everyone. My Cordaro Jewelers watch tells me it's 10:08 a.m. this beautiful Thursday, June 18th, year of our Lord 2026 here in the great Northeast. This is the Bob Cordaro Show. I am he, and it's a big day to fight for America, defend our values, and honor, with the help of our man John Basiliga and his great Basiliga Hospitality Group, the brave who have made us and kept us free. People like Rocco Cipriano, late of Dunmore, but he was a West Sider as well. Dr. Thomas Artabane, West Side. Henry Swank, Danville. Veterans we celebrate today, thanks to John. So with history, our amazing founding fathers, and the incomparable Constitution of the United States of America as our guides, let us continue today's battle. Gaveling back to order after that brief news adjournment, where we heard the ABC lie about the Iran deal. You're going to hear it. You're going to hear it. They're going to lie. The Obama deal was great. Yeah, that's why they've had an almost impenetrable defenses and almost unlimited drone and ballistic missile capability, because the Obama deal worked. My God. And by the way, they'll just say it. They will just say it. Some of them can be stupid enough to actually believe it, but they'll say it. This is what we're dealing with today in an age of stupidity, utter stupidity. By the way, these are the same people whose political party is electing socialists all over the country, and an outright mentally ill Senate candidate in Maine. Just know who you're dealing with. By the way, just something I want to bring up, and it's a little off topic, slightly off topic, but it's of a piece with what we try to talk about here every day. Months ago, I had a guy on, and he was talking about our skies. Now, you'll drive around, and I don't know, it's one of those things you don't notice very often. But you look up at the skies, and particularly the other day, and you're going to see these streaks and everything. Well, that's not from an airplane. There's like a haze, and there's like zigzags, things you can't understand, and they're not clouds. Who's producing them? I'm not saying anything that's determinative, but having presented this evidence by a lot of people who I respect, I'm just starting to notice it. What are they doing to our skies? What are they spraying to get this result? And I'm just going to ask this audience, which is a very intelligent audience. Even, by the way, even the left-wing goofballs and trolls can get in on this. Because apparently, maybe it has no political bent for them, so they could actually use their pea brains. I want you to start every day, just make an assessment of the skies. Does that look normal to you? Are those clouds like we remember when we were younger? Or is it something else? I just want you to think about that, because I don't have the answer. Some people believe they do. But it's something that we can't, it just no longer can be ignored, in my view. So just think about it and start observing. Because they're not spraying things into the atmosphere to help us. That I can assure you. That part I'm ironclad on. All right. He's been patient. Let's go to our man Bill from Pittston. Bill, how are you?
I'm doing good, and I'm happy. I'm not thrilled, but I'm happy with Trump's peace initiative, and I'll tell you why.
Yes.
The reason is, first of all, if we had to go in more attacks and we damaged the Strait of Hormuz, we'd have to repair it. It would block up everything for who knows how long and destroy world economies. So we got it repaired and got it moving. The other thing is we had to put boots on the ground. Who would be happy with that?
I would have been, by the way, just to mention. I would have been, not to conquer the nation of Iran, but to completely control the straits. And I know they have contingency plans to do that, and it is possible we're going to have to use them down the road. But you're right. I mean, 93 million people starving without water would have been our problem if we kept bombing.
Exactly. And then you said the magic comment there that down the road, it may be necessary. I would call this an in-the-park home run. He had to run all the bases to get the score. But the thing is, he could, again, if things go south, he can always go in and do what needs to be done. But even the Pope is happy because Trump the Pope cannot criticize Trump, and he's not. He's praising him for this deal that he used negotiations. And from sources I know, I heard Rubio set the stage for that when he was over in Rome with the Pope, that he got him to calm down a little bit. And supposedly the Pope I've already heard the Pope said he's very satisfied with the peace deal. So Trump is doing things great for the economy. The other thing is let's look at the situation before Trump started this and the way it is now. The world's better off.
Yes, by a mile.
By a mile. We broke their nose. And if they want to mess with it, we'll break the rest of their face. But we broke their nose. And Obama is so jealous of Trump, it's pathetic. He's a loser.
He's become a sickening disgrace. He can't even finish and pay the people who are building his disgustingly ugly library.
He's a loser. He's all smoke and mirrors of nothing. And it's so sad to see this guy. People had a lot of hope in him. I wanted him to succeed because he was president. But he just was such an idiot and such a celebrity-driven president that he accomplished absolutely nothing. And when I ask Democrats, tell me one thing he did, they can't.
No, they can't. They can't because there's nothing. There's nothing. Crazy.
But anyway, we'll see what Trump does now. I think you're right. I'm very impressed.
And Bill, it's like, was the Obama deal bad on its face? In my view, it was. But some reasonable people disagreed with me at the time. So that's fine. And I don't say, well, you're stupid like the people we're talking about now. But the follow-up, the enforcement, that was what matters. And by the way, that's what matters now. So this agreement, whatever it ends up being, however it's tweaked beyond the MOU, the only thing that matters is how we enforce it.
Exactly. And, the Iranians thumb their nose back at Obama, and the world could see it. I mean, they're causing all this havoc. Everybody's afraid of them. And they thumb their nose at America. Well, they're not thumbing their nose at America anymore. And if they do, Trump's going to break the rest of their face.
Listen, they're just going to do their propaganda for their own purposes, say they won, all that stuff. But I'm very satisfied with where we are. But again, time will tell how this is followed up on, how this is enforced. And that's, hey, the proof will be in the pudding then. Thank you, my man.
The other good thing is that, it's going to take them years and years and years to ever get anywhere where they're really a major force.
Yes. Those that were trying to ignore that, you just can't have an intelligent discussion with them. That's just what is. Thank you, Bill. Always a pleasure. Hey, It's 10:18 on my Picardo's watch. That means it's time for a commercial break. Let's do that. Let's hear from our great sponsors. We're going to have a little history, a little music, and then you at 570-883-0098. Call me or text me. Lorraine has a poem. And by the way, you can catch us on YouTube, this whole show. Roach Supply getting it done. You go YouTube, WILK News, WILK Bob Cordaro Show. And Roach Supply, you'll see it. They're the sponsors. They are the premier bath and kitchen supplier in Northeast Pennsylvania. 75 years in business. Do you know what that means? Honest, good at what they do, the best. That's what it means. RoachSupply.com today, kitchen and bath, ROCHE. Murph tells us this date, 1973, the Stories released their hit single, Brother Louie. And, of course, before that, 1979, this date, the feckless Jimmy Carter and Soviet President Leonid Brezhnev signed the SALT II agreement in Vienna. They were all... It was not a good agreement. It didn't actually accomplish anything. It's one of those things, you know, but hey, he did his best, which wasn't very good. There was something I was going to, my man KB, and I've gotten this meme from a lot of different people, and it shows what a difference an administration makes. And it has that Pride Aid thing where the trans were showing their breasts and everything on the White House lawn in June of 2023. And then the Trump White House in June of 2026 with the UFC octagon, the jets flying over, the red, white, and blue, the crowd. Oh, yeah, you captured it. KB, you captured it. It really does say a lot. Well, we haven't heard from a particular person in a while. So now you know who it is. It's our friend, Lorraine from Hazleton. Hi, Lorraine.
Hi, Bob.
How are you?
Hanging in.
Okay. Well, we missed you. We're so happy you checked in today.
Well, tomorrow you're not there, so.
Yeah, so we're happy. We're happy you called in.
Okay.
It's one of these holidays that sneaks up. We have a woke company, and so Juneteenth would obviously be a day off, which is great, I guess, you know. But I don't think of June 19th as a holiday yet. I'm not against it. I'm not for it. But yeah, we'll be off tomorrow.
Yeah. Well, I probably read this poem before, but I don't care. That's okay.
Oh, you don't care? Is that
No.
where my show is reduced to that? You to an I don't care level? Is that what you're saying?
You're lucky I called.
By the way, I agree with that point. Yes, I am lucky you called.
That's right.
Now what are you going to say?
Nothing.
Okay.
I'm going to try to read my poem if you let me.
I'll let you read your poem. Go ahead, Lorraine.
Some people walk through life on a wing and a prayer. This process can be very difficult to do. You may be hanging onto a wing while counting on a prayer to come through for you. We often look to our friends for help or advice. Many times they may make promises that they cannot keep. Our spirits then take a nosedive. It is in these moments that we have to dig deep. They say that They say that prayer is very powerful, but many people do give up hope. And in this day and age, it can be very unbearable to try and cope. If I suggest not to give up, this action is easier said than done, because advice is one thing people would rather give than receive. Now is the time to turn to the Lord, for He would be the only reliable one.
Okay, and what's that entitled? What is that poem entitled?
On a Wing and a Prayer.
On a Wing and a Prayer. Okay. All right, Lorraine, very good. We're happy to have heard it, and we're enriched by having heard it. There you go.
I'm glad. Yep.
So, do you feel okay?
No, I'm not.
Oh, I hate that.
No. I've been having a lot of problems, and now I'm waiting for a ride, looking for a ride that I could get to get my tooth that broke off, because I have to have oral surgery. I have to have it pulled and stitched. And in the meantime, anyway, there's a lot of problems. But anyway, I won't go into it on radio.
But not a not pleasant prospect, that's for sure.
No, there's a lot of other things, but it's hard. That's why I read this poem, Oh, well.
A wing and a prayer. Well, did you say hello to Mark Mayer?
The show, I'm not over yet. I didn't hang up yet.
Well, it's 10:30.
Give me a chance.
Which means we've got to go to a break, my dear.
Well, that's not my fault that you kept carrying on and on and on and on.
Okay.
If you would have heard me on this end, I'm going, come on. All right.
All right. Well, best wishes with your
Mark,
oral surgery.
Mark, come on into Hazelton and give me a ride, Mark. Fuzzy Wuzzy.
All right, dear. Mark lives in the middle of the Knicks parade. He's going to be going out of his mind today with the traffic issues.
Yeah, well, I'm going out of my mind, but in different ways.
All right. Well, you hang in there. All right, dear. We love you.
Thank you.
All right.
Okay, bye now.
Lorraine from Hazelton, our gal, slugging it out, hanging in there. 10:31 on my Picardo's watch. We'll take a break and be back. Our Veterans Tribute this hour, as with every hour, this day as with every day, brought to you proudly by a true patriot, John Basiliga. And it's Thursday. It's my weekend, so I'm thinking Basiliga hospitality. I'm thinking, how could I get down to the Stegmeyer Mansion for their amazing happy hour? And more importantly, how can I get home? This just gorgeous atmosphere. We were there Sunday for my parents' anniversary. Awesome. And then a Terra 519 right in my backyard. I'll be there. Amazing bar, amazing restaurant, amazing experience. And Sergei's, the nightclub. They'll be hopping all weekend long. It'll be fun. My time there is 8 o'clock to 9 o'clock in that area, and then we'll let the kids take over. Dr. Thomas Artebane. We lost him June 12th. He was 84. A very proud West Sider, born on 9th Street, Tommy graduated from St. Patrick's High School in 1959 and the University of Scranton in 1963. His nickname was Moose, an athlete scholar at both schools, winning the Reverend Mulholland Memorial Trophy at St. Pat's and playing for the Royals football team, which was undefeated in 1960. Dr. Arterbain attended medical school at the University of Ottawa, where he met his late wife, Lorraine Mazarol Arterbain. They married the day after graduation, 1968. Tom entered active duty for the United States Army right after that, rose to the rank of captain, and served as a flight surgeon for the 187th Assault Helicopter Company in the Vietnam War. After leaving the service, Dr. Arterbain completed a residency in internal medicine at Geisinger Medical Center, Danville. He then returned to Scranton, where he opened his private practice. Tom was a beloved physician, respected colleague, passionate educator. He worked at the Scranton Temple residency program from its onset. Despite his many accomplishments, Tommy's greatest pride was his family. He was a constant source of encouragement, unconditional love, a trusted confidant, a lifelong friend, and a steady presence in the lives of those he loved. He was the family's patriarch. He's survived by his daughter, Julie, her husband, grandchildren, brothers, including my pal Norm. Great American, great doctor, Dr. Thomas Arterbain, our veteran this hour, brought to you by John Basiliga and his great Basiliga Hospitality Group. AccuWeather forecast. Today, variable clouds, windy, very warm, humid with a thunderstorm around into the early afternoon, high 86. Perfect to be at the Montage Mountain Water Park. Perfect. Tonight, partly cloudy and breezy, 58. Let's see how the rest of the weekend looks up at Montage. Intervals of clouds and sun on Friday. Passing shower in the afternoon, high 80, low 55. Nice. Saturday, mostly sunny, breezy and pleasant, 78 degrees, low 53. Sunday, sun yielding to clouds, nice for Father's Day activities, high 80, low 60. Monday, rain, high 72, low 54. And that's your weather, brought to you by the great gang at Montage, and the water park is in full swing. It's the place to be. 77 degrees at Montage. Well, you know what this means. It means Alex Picardo's with us. And here he is. It's Dads and Grads time. And
What's up?
Alex, you've been too busy to talk with us early in the week, which is a good thing. That's a good thing.
A good thing.
We're happy to have you today for a moment or two.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, tell us what's happening at Picardo's.
Well, it's Father's Day weekend. I mean, it's the best weekend of the year, right?
Yeah, in a lot of ways, yes.
In a lot of ways. Listen, we've always run specials. It's Father's Day weekend. Graduation's still here. Whatever you need, we have it. Ladies, come in. Guys love watches. We have an amazing selection to choose from. We have great financing, great layaway plans. We make it simple for everybody and have prices all over the board. We'll make you happy. We'll make that special person in your life, whatever, very happy also.
Alex Picardo, what kind of gifts have people been getting for their grads?
A lot of people are turning to watches. And I gotta tell you, it's a lot of female also.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason being is
Well, you got a
putting
great
nice
selection. The Tory Burch, all those. My gosh.
Yeah, Michelle watches Tory Burch. I mean, Longines has been amazing, but we have a lot of ladies watches. They've really grown throughout the years, and we have everything in stock.
By the way, I know you're a little bit out of the immediate path of the big boy celebration, particularly Monday and Tuesday. But did they get to see? Maybe some of them saw the ball watches and other ones that are part of that whole thing.
So we are getting, again, that's our new brand, ball watches. They're on their way. We have a few, but not the whole line yet. But down the road, we might have a little secret going with Steamtown because ball watches are known for the railroad. So there's plenty to come with that. But I was happy to see the city so busy. It was nice to see that.
It was amazing. I said, now Tuesday was calmer. Monday was 10,000 people waiting to get into the park.
Yeah, few hour wait, which was great though. It brought people out. Local businesses, I'm hoping benefited from that. So it was nice to see.
All right, so Alex, give me what days are we open? Are we open right through Saturday? Talk to me.
Right through Saturday, I'm here 10 to 5 every day. Thursday 10 to 6, and Saturday I'll be here for last minute gifts 10 to 4.
All right, it's Father's Day. The graduates. There's no better place to go, and not just for the watches. There's so many other options.
We have something for everyone, but there's a lot. Ladies, if you're looking for something different, something special, come in, look around. I'll help you out. Guys, it goes for the same thing. So you never know what we have. We always have difference. We are always upgrading. We're just trying to make it good for you guys.
Beautiful. Alex Picardo at Picardo's, Jefferson Avenue, Spruce Street, caddy corner from the Radisson.
Have a good day,
it's its
everyone.
own landmark. We love it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Alex. Appreciate it.
Bye.
We'll take a break. It's the Bob Cordaro Show. Barry Manilow. Murph tells us this date, 1977. He had the number one easy listening charts hit with Looks Like We Made It. Bob Cordaro back from the commercial break and back on the program. I want to touch something. Well, there's a couple of good texts I want to discuss. Bob, all the Iranians need to do is wait about 2.5 years for the next presidential election in hopes the Dems get back to the presidency, and it will be business as usual. They will go right back to their antics with no consequences, says Bob from Warrior Run. That's the sad potential truth. I don't believe the Democrats are going to win the next race, because the presidential race, because when normal voters focus on what the Democrat Party has become, and they're not going to change before 2028, they're going to get it. They're going to get the peril that the Democrat Party puts us in. So we'll see. But they are thinking much more long-term than we are. Trump had to get stuff done, and he did. But it's no permanent solution. It's a solution that's worth the headache, but it is not a permanent one. Somebody texting, group prayer for Lorraine. Let's lift her up. Yes. I want to get her through her headaches, you know? God bless Lorraine. We love her. Somebody says, Cope, Bob, Cope. You trashed the JCPOA entirely, and now you're backpedaling because Trump got a similar but even worse deal. Well, you're a liar. That's not what happened. We bombed the snot out of them. We destroyed their military capacity as well as their manufacturing capacity. You can be as stupid as you want to be. I won't follow you there, idiot. God almighty. And this is the same, by the way, same 3 or 4 trolls. And they just repeat the Democrat talking points like robots, like stupid, unthinking robots. Crazy. Somebody texted in because I was going to bring it up. I think I have 20 seconds, 30 seconds to talk about it. Bob read about this a few years ago. Britain and some EU countries to combat global warming decided to spray the sun, sun-blocking agents to control the warming. I don't know the nature of what chemical they're using. Some speculate it's cloud seeding. I am more suspicious of what they're using. Rob Finnerty on Newsmax has been spearheading this as to what this is, says George. I got sent something interesting I'm going to talk about hopefully after this. About something they discovered, the components of the spray that we've been subjected to. 10:50 says Picardo's Bloomberg Money Minute. Domino Day. Murph tells us he had his only hit. And this date, 1977, it was number 6, Undercover Angel. Bob Cordaro back with you on the eponymous program. Let's go right to the blower. We got Jim from Wilkes-Barre. How are you, Jim?
Hey, Bob, I still say you are the Donald Trump, Muhammad Ali, and Rocky Marciano of radio broadcasters.
Might I be a tiny part of all of those things? I appreciate it, man.
Yeah. But yeah, aside from that, Bob, you are the greatest. But I am furious. Here's what the Democrats gave us once again. That ringleader of that terrorist group who wanted to attack the White House event just Saturday. The ringleader was an illegal from Mexico.
Yep. It's insane. And but don't ever detain him because we'll attack you. These are sick people.
Yeah, and that's what burns me up about Democrat voters. They're the ones that are helping all this. They're so stupid they keep voting Democrat no matter how much damage is being done to the country and their own lives themselves. Their lives are being damaged by the voters who vote for Democrats. They never learn. When Kamala Harris lost to Donald Trump just a year and a half ago, she had an event right after she lost. You saw people in their 20s and 30s, blacks and whites, both races, crying tears like they were at a funeral.
They didn't know their lives and their country were just saved.
Yeah, they were saved.
They're that dumb. Yep.
Yeah. They vote for this thing. They're still voting for it. They never learn. Just like you say every day, Paige Cognetti wins the mayoral race in Scranton easily. After all the damage she did, she wins easily. Yep. And now the polls, even though we can't believe the polls, she's a little bit ahead of Rob Bresnahan, an incredible congressman we're lucky to have, and she's a little bit ahead in the polls. Hopefully she'll go down, but I don't know if these Democrat voters ever learn enough to make her go down.
They don't. Listen, but you know what it is, though, Jim? The good thing is, and the scary thing, it all depends on us. The Republicans and normal people have to get out and vote against these Democrats. They have to.
They better get out for these midterms. These midterms are so much more important than so many people realize.
Than usual. Jim, thank you. Thank you, my friend. Appreciate it.
Okay, Bob, you're the best.
All right, brother. Thank you. Hey, Razor from Peckville. We got about a minute, my man. Fire away.
So real quick, well, just about Bresnahan, I didn't hear a word from him. Not one advertisement, hardly ever. Horrible. All these attacks on him and what he was doing to Medicaid, I didn't hear them fight back once. So he might lose. Another thing. So about the election, we've got a lot of that Trump derangement syndrome, well, we've got a syndrome on our side where these people will not vote if Trump's not around. We're going to be in trouble, I think. All right?
Let me ask you, Razor, what do we do? I don't know, other than urging on this show, how do we convince normal voters the danger of not voting? How do we convince them of the danger of not voting? I don't know how I don't know how to express it anymore.
They didn't show up. They didn't show up for anything else except when Trump was there. That scares me.
I know.
And a lot of these people, the only thing I can tell you, they've got. Listen, I actually voted in off-season, whatever they call it, elections because I got the mail-in ballot. Mm-hmm. I don't agree with it, but it made it so much easier for me to vote. These people just sign up for the damn ballot. Sign up for it. They'll give it to you. Just do that because that's what's going to get us. That's what's going to help us. That's what helped Trump this time. If we don't go do the signing of ballots, these people are not going to go to the ballot. So now the other thing, the JCPOA. The number, I don't care how good anyone thought it was. I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt. It was the best agreement they had. But guess what? They had to make an appointment to check on stuff. There was no snap inspections. Nothing is good if there's no snap inspection. If you have to make an appointment,
enforcement and implementation are the keys. Even if we concede, which I do not, that the JCPOS, I call it the POS, if the JCPOS was a good agreement, even if we concede it, they didn't implement it properly. They didn't enforce it.
They didn't know what was going on over there. Not one thing. They're full of hooey. That's what they're full of.
I know it.
Just what you said. POS.
Thank you, Razor. Hey, it's 11 o'clock and change. That means it's time for the news. Bob Cordaro, WILK, the eponymous program, brought to you on live stream. You go to YouTube, Bob Cordaro Show, WILK, and you will see our friends at Roach Supply on the banner because they're bringing it to you. They're the premier bath and kitchen supplier, Northeast Pennsylvania. 75 years in business. Roach Supply, ROCHE. RoachSupply.com today. Get your kitchen and bath done. Great good morning, everyone. It's 11:07 a.m. on my Picardo Jewelers watch. This beautiful Thursday, June 18, year of our Lord 2026, here in the great Northeast. This is the Bob Cordaro Show. I am he, and it's a big day to fight for America, defend our values, and honor, with the help of our man John Basiliga and his great Basiliga Hospitality Group, the brave who have made us and kept us free. People like veterans we've lost this year, but celebrate today thanks to John. Like Dr. Thomas Artabane, West Side. Rocco Cipriano, he lived in West Side, but he was from Dunmore. And Henry Swank, Danville. So with history, our great founding fathers, who we will never allow to be canceled, and the incomparable Constitution of the United States of America as our guides, let us continue today's battle. Gaveling back to order after that brief news adjournment, our meeting of the Club for Common Sense, where we promise that our deep and unalterable commitment to common sense will provide a sanctuary of sanity to all of you who hearken here. My man Sean, he lets me know that his his former landlord, we say these things so casually, down in Chick-Shinny, Donnie Bellis, he listens to the show religiously. Donnie, thank you for that. You are part of our large and growing dysfunctional family. I'm so happy to shout out to you, and I'm so happy you're on the other end of the radio. Absolutely love it. All right. You know, one of the greatest things about this area is our ethnicity and the celebration of that ethnicity. Well, there's something called the Jewish Food Festival, and I'm telling you firsthand, it is awesome, and it is coming up. And on the blower is our man, Rabbi Benny Rappaport, to tell us all about it. Rabbi, great to have you on the Bob Cordaro Show.
It's great to be here. Thanks so much.
Tell me about this. Give me the who, what, where, when, and why.
Holy cow. We got a fun summer festival here in Northeast PA starting June 28th. That's the last week of June. It's a 4-day fest, and it's called the Jewish Food Fest, and we have lots and lots of Jewish food. That's right. It's a foodie event. You don't have to be Jewish to enjoy Jewish food.
Well, now, this puts a lie to the old joke, what does a Jewish housewife make for dinner? Reservations. Well, you got amazing food of all kinds.
Exactly, and we want you to make reservations, but you don't need to, so just pop by. We're open all day from 11:30 to 6:30, and we got basically Jewish ethnic food. That's a reflection of our journey from all different parts of the world through the Middle East to Eastern Europe, here to the Lower East Side. So you have a lot of different flavors, experiences for all different palates, from the grill to the falafel, shawarma, schnitzel. You got the sweets, the babkas. You got the Middle East, the Russian, Polish stuffed cabbage, sweet noodle kugel, two kinds of knishes, the Coney Island Square. A lot of good food to try, and honestly, the people are what make it special.
Yeah.
People think it's a Jewish event. I would say it's 80% beyond the Jewish community from all walks of life that want to enjoy a great, beautiful day at Mayock Park and a great sandwich.
Well, I live in the Hill section in Scranton, and I just want to sing Tevye's tradition, because they live a tradition all the time. And this is an expression of that amazing, long-standing tradition of the Jewish people.
And you know what? When you stand together with people from all walks of life and all colors and backgrounds and religions and faiths, you feel, you say, hey, we're breaking bread together. Aren't we all the same? Aren't we all just brothers and sisters, children of the same creator of heaven and earth? And honestly, the journey that the Jewish people have been on, there's a reflection. There's a fragment of everyone's story, everyone's immigrant story, from the Irish to the Polish to the Italians. I mean, we're all here in this melting pot, holding on to our values. And when you come together in the summer and you're having a good bite to eat, you realize, all politics aside, aren't we all one big family?
Rabbi Benny Rappaport is our guest. Tell me, because we're going to have you on again if you're able to call in. Tell me, though, where, when, and the times.
So it's at NAOG, right when you come past CMC Hospital, Geisinger. You go right past into NAOG, and it's right across from the Everhart Museum. That's an amazing upgrade they've done over the last couple of years. We're right across the street, right near the bandstand. There's seating, there's tents, there's no admission. You come in, you buy whatever you want to eat, from $4.50 and up. Whether it's a snack, whether it's some of the babka, some of the baked goods, or some of the sweet. There's vegan options. There's gluten-free options. That's right. Falafel is gluten-free. And it's going to be all day, lunch and dinner and everything in between, from Sunday to Wednesday, 4 days straight at NAOG from 11:30 to 6:30. But Monday, we're offering something new this year. Monday, we're doing Sunset at the Fest. That's 6 to 8 p.m. So extended hours with live music. We have this really unique performer, Haitian-American immigrant, born in New York City, and sings the most really interesting Caribbean island music. So that's going to be open to the public all week, and just great food, specials every day. There's also other attractions and things to do there. Learn how to braid the challah bread. There's a peace mural that we're painting. There's backyard games that are free. There's stuff for kids. There's a kids fest on Tuesday. But let's not forget the main feature. The star is the food. You can get food that you can't get anywhere else in the area.
Yeah, love it. All right, you're going to call me Monday at 11?
Absolutely.
Because I want to talk about this even more, and maybe a little bit about Jewish tradition and so forth. I've got my mezuzah on my front post, so I'm ready for action. All right.
You got your mezuzah. You know what you're going to get if you have a mezuzah? You're going to get some fundraisers. knocking at your door.
No, maybe they're going to raise it for me.
Okay. 50-50. Thanks for having me, Bob. Have a great weekend.
Benny Rappaport, we'll talk to you on Monday, and have a great weekend. We're excited about the Jewish Food Fest. Love it.
Thanks so much. Great
Thank
talking.
you.
Take
All
care.
right. We're going to take a break. Bob Cordaro, WILK. We're going to come back. Congressman Dan Muser, he's on the phone. We're going to talk about the Iran deal, all of that with Dan Muser after this. The song always reminds me of my old buddy Bob Holtham. It's the Knack. Murph tells us this date, 1979. They released their hit, My Sharona. Fun song. Bob Cordaro back with you on WILK. So much going on. By the way, our man, is this Chuck from Carbondale? But he's letting us know that Audie Murphy's birthday, and Rick Bigelow talked about him just the other day. He'd be celebrating his 100th birthday this Saturday. How great is that? Audie Murphy. Our guy, Congressman Dan Muser, has been doing an amazing job. He's in the leadership. He's in the thick of things in every way possible. And we love him for that and representing us. Congressman Muser, welcome back to the Bob Cordaro Show. How are you?
Bob, it is wonderful to be with the Rocky Marciano of radio. How are you?
You heard that. Hey, you compare me to Rocky Marciano, I'm all in.
I don't blame you a bit, and we do compare you to that. Just keep knocking out those Democrats.
I call them dummocrats, but Trump with the Democrats, I get that too.
And not all of them. Not all of them.
Of course
just
not.
Just the ones who've earned it and deserve it.
Well, they prove it. They earn the title every day. They just do.
Right.
But Congressman Muser, let's go right off the bat. Your thoughts on what hopefully is the conclusion of the Iran war, Iran incursion.
Yeah. Well, obviously controversial. President Trump saw something that was not getting any better. It was a constant threat. I've had classified meetings on this for the last 4 or 5 years. It's always the same thing. They're close to a nuclear weapon. We have to do this. We have to do that. I mean, I was at the International Atomic Energy Agency listening to the head of it, and some of it was classified, but just stating how Iran just is always enriching. When they do their inspections over, they have to give them 30 days notice. That's what the past, and I really like the JCPOS, by the way. That's absolutely what it was and what it should be called. It was nothing but clandestine actions and secrecy taken by the Iranians. And you know what? They knew it because they could go in with their detectors on uranium, and they knew how much was in a particular place and how much was moved. I mean, they just knew they were lying on a regular basis. Nevertheless, the past agreements, Obama sent in, come on, we saw it, pallets of cash, all kinds of sanction relief. The Biden folks, when I was there listening to what they were doing, both classified, unclassified, they basically did the same thing. It was based upon promises, not commitments. And in this case, they don't get anything unless they perform first. And by the way, we now have surveillance over them that we never had before, and they have no Navy. They have no surface-to-air missiles. They have weak leadership that helps our advantage. So we're in the driver's seat on this situation. And the president, look, he's a president of peace. I mean, the only other alternative would be to destroy, to just keep on going in Iran and completely knock it out. Now, Iran, people can't forget 47 years of a reign of terror. And one of the best examples that people need to know of the type of terror that they engaged in, they started the Gaza assault on Israel. Yep. They convinced, and this is now really public, they convinced them to go in, and they knew what was going to happen. They convinced them, no, you'll be protected. We'll give you weapons. You'll be protected. They knew they were going to be wiped out, but they did it anyway. You know why they did it? Simply because the other Gulf nations were starting to deal with and create trade agreements under the Abraham Accords with Israel. So they decided to start a war, start an immense conflict. That's the type of evil these Iranians are. The president was going to live with this evil any longer. And we're in the driver's seat. We're in control. We're going to tell them how it is. And the president's a president of peace. He'd rather, kill and blow up people and destroy. He'd rather bring everybody together. And when I say everybody together, I mean the Gulf nations. They're all for this deal. They hated the JCPOS, as did Israel. Yep. But the Gulf nations like this plan. Israel has issues with it. I can understand that. But this is the way we're going to go. We're in the driver's seat. We're in control of this evil empire.
Congressman Muser, I was saying to someone last hour, the JCPOS was, let us say for a moment it was fine. It was okay. Let's concede that point, although I do not. Now, the implementation and the enforcement of any deal with someone like Iran is the key. So time will tell whether this is a good agreement, not what's in the four corners of the agreement.
Absolutely. You can't trust them at all. And that's why when I say we're in the driver's seat, we'll be keeping a very close eye on things. Inspections will happen without permission. And we will just stay very much on top of it. We will maintain more forces actually within the area and bring stability to the Gulf nations. And that's what they want. That's why they're now spending more on their military defense as well. And that's why they also made this promise, not us. This was a regional agreement on the so-called $300 billion. But that's investment. That's private investment. That's not gifts to the Iranian regime like Biden and Obama did. I mean, those will be private investments, not by American taxpayers, but by the Gulf nations themselves, who, by the way, are loaded with cash. They truly want to make investments. They'd rather make them there than here, frankly, because they're looking for stability. They really want normalcy. They want the Middle East to be a place that tourists go to and have, the Mediterranean Riviera style areas, and they have economic growth and ingenuity and better schools. I mean, that's what they want. When they come to America, that's what the ambassadors and the foreign ministers and the presidents of those countries tell us, and I have no reason to doubt that. Who wouldn't want that?
Congressman Dan Muser is our guest. Another thing that we're going to be repeating ad nauseum is, if we went forward with additional bombing, you are going to have such destruction of the Iranian infrastructure that you could have 90 million thirsty, starving people that you now have to take care of. There was no easy off-ramp or easy continuation of this entire process.
No, certainly. And, just terribly, we did lose 13 servicemen during the course of this, and women. 2 of them were women, and so our hearts go out to that, of course, and thank them for their ultimate sacrifice. And, of course, if you continue this, there's a lot more death. And if anybody really listens and just doesn't listen to the media's interpretation of what President Trump has to say, he's completely, he's for human life first. In the Ukraine conflict, in this situation, but they needed to be pounded. We pounded them strategically, and that got their attention. And now they can't stop us. If we want to do surveillance, if we want to fly over Iran, if we want to take anything out, we can do it without putting any Americans or Gulf nation
That's a big
personnel
point.
at
That's
risk.
a huge point. That's a huge point. Yeah. A beaten Iran is safer for the world. I don't even, the nonsense you're going to hear on Capitol Hill, but they can't make a straight-faced argument against what we've accomplished.
No, they can't. And of course they will. They make a straight-faced argument against, border security. They make straight-faced argument against CBP and Department of Homeland Security and taxes for 340 million Americans, tax cuts where they say, we got tax cuts for billionaires. Everything that they say is false. I get mail, right? And we see the TV ads, for instance, on Rob Bresnahan. The left, and I don't want to jump off the Iran subject, but the left is just stating things that are not half truths, 100%
bald-faced
false.
Lies. Bald-faced lies.
And the main thing on healthcare, what a just a bold-faced lie. I was at someone's house in Bresnahan's district, and I saw the mailer, and the people on it are not losing their Medicaid. They're not losing their Medicare, although they're stating that they are.
Yeah.
And you know what's even worse about this debate, Bob? And we got some plans to correct this in Reconciliation 3.0. We offered up a 1-year, 2-year extension, perhaps, that not all Republicans would have voted for. I probably would have, of a number of subsidies, but with corrections moving forward. And you know what? The Democrats walked away from it. And you know why they walked away from it? They want the premiums to go up so they can use that politically to say, look, premiums have gone up. That's how out of whack, okay, the leadership of the Democrat Party is. And I'm not saying all of my Democrat colleagues, but sadly they vote with the crazed leadership. And, you know, we don't win these midterms. I'll tell you what, Jeffries is going to make Hakeem Jeffries is going to make Nancy Pelosi look like a conservative. You know, seriously. I mean, look at their leadership. I mean, how does somebody vote for a Paige Cognetti, for instance, when she's completely in line with Mondani, who Trump calls his little commie, with a Plattner, this guy up in Maine with the swastika on his chest. That's your part. That's who you're supporting. That's who she will be voting with. Gavin Newsom, who, you know, says he can't read or write, and he got 920 on his SATs.
People, Dan Muser, Mamdani's campaign people are running Paige Cognetti's campaign. They're in lockstep. They're in lockstep.
You will see her on the floor if you know, sadly, God forbid she wins, sitting with Omar, who refers to World War II as World War XI. Right? That's who you're voting for.
Yeah,
folks. Yeah.
It's crazy stuff. And just for example, has any Democrat behind the scenes, any Democrat legislator, Senate or House, admitted to you that Obamacare has failed? That's why everybody's premiums are up. That's why everybody's co-pays are up. That's why you've got these massive costs that cannot be covered, and why we've got to subsidize even Obamacare?
You want to know what? They all do. Even when we debate it and state the only reason we're here was because the failure of the Unaffordable Care Act, they'll come off the floor and I'll say, how can you be debating against this? He goes, no, we know the costs went up, premiums went up, it didn't work. That's why we need to be here and correct it and do it again. They actually, believe it or not, they all do.
Okay.
You know what many of them are saying now too? They're embarrassed about their party. You know, in fact, I had one Democrat from New Jersey, member, say, you know, I feel we're not a big tent, we're a big top, we're a circus.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the truth. But on the same note, they will vote with them. And you know what, Bob, just to, you know, we've had a good month. I mean, you know, the economy, certainly with the Iran, price increases, but gasoline's going to come down. That'll mean fertilizer will come down. That means the cost of delivering food will come down. We passed that Reconciliation 2.0, the Secure America Act, recently. No Democrats, by the way. Okay, they're against deportations, just like they were completely for open borders. And ladies and gentlemen, they get back in charge, the borders will be open again. Yep. No question about it. You know, and why? Because they want to turn them into voters, or they want them for the census. We're passing a housing bill, which is a really terrific bill. We got all these fraud bills that we're working on, and I have one which will be signed, will be voted on the floor this coming week.
That every Democrat's going to vote against. Yeah.
Just about all of them.
Brought
just
that
about
up.
All
200 voted against it yesterday.
Yeah. Our economy, Treasury yields are down. The markets, of course, are doing very well. This guy, Kevin Warsh, is in. I'm meeting with him on Wednesday, but I've gotten to know him. We're untangling. You know, there's more IPOs taking place, or twice as many IPOs already this year than in all of 2024. So in other words, America, there's investment taking place. There's good things happening. It's not perfect. We know the affordability issue. You know, never mind the fact that, you know, prices went up 20% under Biden. And as well as we're stopping the debanking, all the crazy things that were taking place in their bureaucracies, you know, killing community banks, keeping mortgages. You know, mortgages from community banks are half last year what they were. 5 years ago. So we're taking some of the reins off of the community banks. But again, not to belabor it, but just a lot of good things that we're doing, and the Democrats hate it all.
They hate success of America. They want to run it, even if they're running it into the ground. Congressman Muser, thank you so much. Always a pleasure, and keep fighting for us. We appreciate it.
Hey, thanks, Bob. You too, Rocky.
All right, Dan Muser, our congressman. We'll take a break and be back. Our veterans tribute this hour as with every hour, and this day as with every day, dutifully, patriotically, loyally, brought to you by our man John Basiliga and his great Basiliga Hospitality Group. I'll be checking out a bunch of the places this weekend. I can't get enough of them. I don't brag about them because I have to. I brag about them because I love these places. 3 great bar restaurants. The Old Brook Inn, 307 Springbrook Township. The Queen City Tavern, downtown Oliphant. The Far Street Tavern. On Far Street in the Great Trips Park section of West Scranton. The Scranton Art House, the place to watch a movie. I may not get to it, but my man Rick Bigelow has a little bit of a review on the movie Pressure. 2 fine dining restaurants, the class of any place, anywhere. Stegmeyer Mansion, an old world take in downtown Wilkes-Barre. Awesome is the word. A Terra 519, a modern take. Awesome is the word. And they've got affordable options, happy hour, apps, all that. Sergei's the nightclub. They'll be open tonight, and it's fun. Every time I'm there, it's a blast. Even for a fogey like me, but I observe more than anything. Henry Swank He was 92. He was from Danville. He drove mail trucks, coal trucks, school buses. We lost him May 25th. Born in Danville, graduate of Danville Area High School. He served this country with honor in the United States Army. He was married to the late Shirley Ann Rausch Swank. They had celebrated their 60th wedding anniversary last June 24th. He was a man of many talents at TRW, where he worked as well as being a driver. Member of the Danville American Legion and its Honor Guard. Founding father of the Robert Vogt VFW post in Danville. He was a firefighter for East End, Continental, Friendship, Washies. Was a member of the Danville Moose. Cherished spending time at the Legion talking about war stories and memories with fellow veterans. Passionate outdoorsman, hunting, fishing, coaching his son's baseball team. He was not just a coach, the family says, but a mentor. Survived by his son, Henry, and that's Henry Swank Jr., his wife, one daughter, her husband, 7 grandchildren, 8 great-grandchildren, a sister. Tragically, in addition to wife, he was preceded in death by one daughter, Tina Berry. Henry Swank, our great veteran this hour, brought to you by John Basiliga and his great Basiliga Hospitality Group. AccuWeather forecast brought to you by Montage Mountain Resort. They're in full swing with that great water park. It's just a relaxing and cool place to hang out, especially in the weather this week. Great weather weekend for them and you if you go there. Today, variable clouds, windy, very warm, humid with a thunderstorm. Early afternoon probably, high 86. Tonight, partly cloudy and breezy, down to 58. Tomorrow, Friday, intervals of clouds and sun with a passing shower in the afternoon, high 80, low 55. Saturday, mostly sunny, breezy, pleasant, high 78, low 53. Sunday, Father's Day, sun yielding to clouds, nice Father's Day activities, high 80, low 60. We're doing a multi-generational deal, which we need outdoor weather to be good, and that sounds nice. Monday, rain, high 72, low 54. And that's your weather, brought to you by the great gang at Montage Mountain Resort, where the water park is happening. 72 degrees on the mountain as we speak. I love that part. Tina Morocco, Global Sales Advisor at Sotheby's International Realty, Naples, Florida. She is your trusted guide to Florida real estate, specializing in Southwest Florida. You can reach her at Sotheby's in Naples or Tina Morocco, MURACCO.com, or Tina Morocco on any social media. And here she is. She's in Northeast PA, but she's still going to tell us about Florida, I hope.
Definitely.
What do you got today, Tina?
So let's talk about Sanibel Island. We haven't talked about Sanibel before, and cool. I can't even believe it.
Cool.
So Sanibel, if people haven't been to Sanibel, it is just famous for shelling. And it is a beautiful island. It's just west of Fort Myers Beach. You get there off the Sanibel Causeway, off of Fort Myers. It's an easy drive over there, but it is like a tropical jungle paradise. I mean, it's absolutely stunning, and it's very much old Florida. You're not going to see a lot of chains there. There's not high rises. There's a lot of building development codes there that prohibit them from really overdeveloping Sanibel. So, fun fact about Sanibel is that they can't build above the highest native palm tree.
How about that?
So it's about 4 stories is about as high as you get, and there's not very many of them that are 4 stories there. But the beaches are famous there, so famous for shelling. It's because of the way the island is positioned. It's actually world famous, and that's a lot of people come from all over the world, shell collectors, and there's something called the Sanibel Stoop. It's when you're looking at people walking on the beach and they're just stooped over, taking their shells. Yeah.
I was there. I visited once, and you're right. It has a feel like you're back in the 20s. It really does. Yeah.
Yeah. And it has a lot of, despite hurricanes, it does have a lot of older cottages. And it just, even the new developments, they're meant to look like old Florida, which is really cool.
Yeah.
The lighthouse there is, it's been there since the 1800s, survived through all the hurricanes. It's just kind of iconic. And the other thing that's fun about Sanibel and even to the north, Captiva Island, we'll talk about that on another show, but it's something called the Green Flash. And I don't know if you've heard of this, Bob, but the Green Flash, it's at sunset. So, we're famous for our sunsets in Southwest Florida. And so a lot of people go out to the beaches and watch sunset. And if you're at a beach that faces west, sometimes right when the sun goes down, there is a green flash like across the horizon. And it's absolutely beautiful.
Oh, neat.
Yeah.
It's fascinating.
Yeah.
Now,
so
Sanibel, though, is pricey, right?
That's what you would think. But I was just looking at real estate prices there today, and you can get a condo on Sanibel walking distance to the beach for under $300,000.
You're kidding me.
Which is Sanibel prices used to be much higher, but I think because of the redevelopment after the big Hurricane Ian that we had, there's more inventory. So it's a great time to be a buyer in Sanibel. Yeah.
Wow.
So and there's all kinds of different communities there, and a lot of them are walking distance to the beach because Sanibel is not very wide. It's only 3 miles wide, so you're never far from the beach.
Oh, neat.
And the other cool thing is that 60% of Sanibel is conservation land. It's Ding Darling National Refuge, so it's never going to be this commercial place. It's just a beautiful place. It's a lot of bird watchers there. So we have a lot of different,
Sanibel Island. I love it.
Sanibel Island, a tropical getaway.
Thank you, Tina. Now you've given me some hope I could maybe buy there at some point. So that's good.
Yeah, definitely.
Love it. Thank you, Tina.
Absolutely. Take care, Bob.
Tina Morocco. She is your trusted guide, Southwest Florida. All of Florida real estate, actually. Reach her at Sotheby's in Naples or Tina Morocco, MURACCO.com. Well, he's got patience, and he's got his own theme song. It's Matt Geddes from Camp Freedom. Hey, quickly, just something to mention. Somebody asked if there was a B-52 bomber up at the airport. I do not know if there's a B-52, but there are a bunch of vintage war planes at the airport through the weekend. So check them out. If there's a B-52, I'm going up there to see it. And here he is, our man. Matt, how are you, brother?
I'm doing great, but you don't know how hard that is when you're a music lover to choose a song. Like I went through everything from Zeppelin, who I love, to The Cure, to everything in the '80s. Like I was all over the map.
Well, you could switch it up, and the bulldog will take care of business. That's all.
I figured I'm about as quiet as you, so I needed something loud.
Well, Saturday is the big event, this annual banquet, which is just awesome, huh?
Yeah, 7th annual banquet. So excited about it. All the money raised on Saturday night at the Hotel Anthracite here in Carbondale will go to our mission. And I'm just excited for some of the incredible items, auction items, all of the games that are played that night, and just for the way this community continues to just support us and support our mission.
But they get it. You know what I mean? And a lot of people don't know about it, shockingly, about Camp Freedom and its mission. But so many do, and they step up and they participate. I said it on the air the other day when we were on, but I tell everybody, I said, when you go to one of their events, you're in one of the greatest parts of America. You know, it's totally American, like nothing you've ever experienced before.
It is, and this one being the 250th, like you talk about special. I mean, it's just incredible. This will be the greatest pro-Americana fan base and people that will be here. I mean, we've got a vehicle from Count's Customs that is America 250 themed. We have an arcade machine, America 250 themed. We've got an incredible gun safe, America 250 themed. We have the Navy, the Marines, and the Army 250th also this year celebrated. We have a 2-gun set, auto ordnance and Tommy gun of each one of those. They're never going to be made again.
Wow.
Those guns will not be reproduced again. So we have so much America 250 themed stuff because we love this country, we love this land, and we love the true American heroes that not only established our freedom but continue to keep our freedom. And it is just awesome what we do. It is just awesome what we're able to do and be a part of, and we just get to represent those men and women. So it's awesome.
So it's sold out. So unless you know somebody who has a table, you can't attend. However, you can still participate.
You sure can. Live auction. It's on our Facebook page. It's actually featured right at the top of it. And you can get online and you can bid on all of those. There's 35 incredible items, and so many of them are one-of-a-kind items that you just can't get anywhere else. Like, for instance, Hoot & Young has a reserve 250 bottles that they did that's a reserve bottle, and the wood that was involved in that barrel is from the USS Constitution, old Ironside. And they gave us one of those bottles. Like, crazy bottle.
Great stuff. And you guys, look at any of your events are outstanding. Camp Freedom's the best. Matt, we appreciate you coming on always. And now that you have a theme song, we're expecting to hear more from you.
Love it. And thank you for the opportunity. Hope to see you soon.
All right, my brother. The Camp Freedom event reminds me of the old Phil Gramm, the former senator from Texas. He said, I have more guns than I need, but less guns than I want. You won't be safer anywhere else on the planet either, I might add. Good stuff. Bob B tells us, as Frank Sinatra sings, and Murph tells us about this, it was the #1 hit this day, 1966, Strangers in the Night. But Bob B tells us, I was riding my trail bike up by the airport in a big field. He said it was an F-16 or an F-35. He said this thing hit the afterburners and climbed to about 40,000 feet in a split second. Wow. Neat. So there's a big event. I don't know. It wasn't publicized as much as maybe it should have been up at the airport with a lot of older vintage warcraft. Really good stuff. Hey, we want to thank Roach Supply, ROCHE, RoachSupply.com, Premier Kitchen and Bath, 75 years, veteran owned and run, 3 generations of the gang running this business, and they're great at it. Thanks to Tina Morocco, you know that. And thank you to our veterans and our man John Basiliga for bringing them to us. Dr. Thomas Artabane, Rocco Cipriano, both from West Side. Rocco was smart enough to come to Dunmore after that. And then Henry Swank of Danville. Guys, great to be with you. My Picardo Jewelers watch, and don't forget about them for dads and grads. It's not too late. Head out to Picardo's and get what you need to get. It's all there. Check out and tell Alex. All right. Guys, we're not here tomorrow. Juneteenth holiday observed in the Odyssey Company. So Monday, God willing, I'll be with you. Until then, have a great weekend. Be well. And God willing, I'll be with you Monday at 9. Adios. Club for Common Sense adjourned.